Hey you, new room. I know, it's pretty crazy, it's pretty cool. Look, I like Nintendo. If you've been on the internet for any sort of time, you've probably heard the term lost media. People use this term to describe things like, oh my god, this show is lost media, you can't find it anywhere. Or I heard this like song from the 80s is like lost media because I can't find it on Spotify or YouTube Music or anything. But what does that actually mean? Well, the Wikipedia definition says, lost media is any piece of media thought to no longer exist in any format or for which no copies can be located. Pretty self-explanatory, right? It's media that is completely lost. You know, you can't find it, I can't find it, that dude from GeoGuessr probably can't find it, it's gone, right? Which always kind of confused me because people would post snippets of like a show or a song or something and be like, guys, look at this 5-second clip. This is lost media. This is lost. Nobody can find this anymore. I've noticed a lot of lost media trends recently where the media in question just ends up being like old, obscure, or just uncredited works. So I kind of just wanted to sit down and explore what actually qualifies as lost media and where that line should be drawn, right? It seems like with most things, TikTok has kind of watered down the original meaning of the word and people just tend to use it as a way to describe semi-niche topics, you know what I mean? A pretty recent example of this is actually a Brazilian, I think it's a Brazilian song from a few years back. Basically, we had the song, but we didn't know the artist or the name, so this started a pretty big search for it over on TikTok. Oh, and probably Reddit. After a while, people eventually found the song name and the creator. It's Feels Like a Wish by Station K if you wanted to listen to it. I think it's like a love song. I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese. I was working on this video and I got to the part where it says I don't speak Portuguese and then I just have asterisk Markiplier. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
I remembered.
Oh, you're so Portuguese.
At this point, though, we have the title of the song and the creator, as well as the media, which I would assume officially mark it as found media, right? And you know, I get it. I get why they'd want to keep calling it lost media afterwards, because, I mean, found media definitely just doesn't have the same ring to it. Lost sounds cool and secretive and all exclusive, like, look at this fucking secret media I found. Found media just sounds like you walked into a theater and saw Fantastic Four on the screen, you know? Like, look at this found media that I found by paying for it. But I bring this up to say, at what point is it no longer lost media? You know, like if it's been found, then can you even refer to it as lost media anymore? Or is it just like recently discovered media? I feel like it's a bit disingenuous to be like, this is the craziest lost media ever. And it's a movie that somebody found 8 years ago and there's full rips on it of YouTube. And you know, I get it. Calling something lost media makes it sound cooler, like you're a PI or like fucking Indiana Jones uncovering the forbidden VHS tapes. I get it. It adds some mystery to it. It's way more fun to say, look at this lost media than look at this random Brazilian song from 2007. But I mean, was this song ever seriously lost media? Like, we had a snippet, hell, we had the entire song before somebody named it, but my point is we still had the song. And what I mean is, if we have the entire song, we just don't know the artist or the name of the song, is that really lost media? I mean, we have the media, we just don't know who to credit for it. Like, I know this is kind of splitting hairs here, but still, wait. Before we go any further, let me introduce to you today's sponsor, Mantis Sleep. Now, I personally have struggled with sleep for most of my life. I've spent many nights just trying to fall asleep and I just can't. And I've looked around and tried a ton of different things, right? But I never really considered sleep masks until Mantis Sleep reached out and asked if I wanted to try one. And I have to say, I was honestly shocked at how much better I've been sleeping with this mask. Mantis Sleep is committed to providing better sleep for everyone and prides itself on its quality and care, with tons of premium features like its C-shaped eye cups, ensuring a comfortable night and allowing you full range of motion, along with its super lightweight breathable fabric and adjustable backstrap assures a comfortable fit for pretty much everybody. Now, my personal favorite feature of these masks is their 100% full blackout eye cups. These make sure that no matter where you are, the lights are out. And look, I get a lot of light from my windows because my place kind of sucks. So these have just been an absolute lifesaver when I'm trying to go to sleep. I'll even prove the quality of them by trying to catch this ball with the mask on. So if you're looking to better your sleep, look no further than Mantis Sleep. Go to mantisleep.com/Prisk or use the link in the description for 10% off your purchase today. Now back to the video. The reason I started talking about this is you can find a ton of like lost media icebergs, which I just want to say, I like icebergs. I think they're kind of fun, right? But I don't think every single topic needs an iceberg. Like, what are we going to get, a Markiplier iceberg and then the bottom's just the 7th time he went to the hospital? I don't know why I'm on a Markiplier bender today. But for example, take a look at this iceberg. No hate to the dude in the video, by the way. This is just the best shot I could get of the iceberg. He's just kind of explaining what's on here. But the tip of this lost media iceberg here is original Shrek, right? Which is talking about how the film test footage for Shrek was a completely different movie and then got scrapped to make the green dude we know and love. You know, that guy. That guy. Ugh. Also, it was gonna be voiced by Chris Farley. What the what? Why? But like, should this even be considered lost media? It was an intentionally scrapped movie that never had like a planned release date or anything like that. I don't think that's lost media. I think it's a good economic choice by the studio. I mean, look at this freak. He looks like a box troll got addicted to heroin. Seriously though, if we consider this lost media, I feel like it's completely discrediting the concept of actual lost media, you know, actual commercially licensed product that is just impossible to find now. I don't know, it just seems like there isn't really a strong consensus of what lost media is. I'll give a pretty similar example to the Shrek movie, the Riot Games MMO project. Ugh. This is the closest I will ever get to talking about League on this channel ever, mark my words. Anyways, if you've been following the news on it at all, you know Riot, the people that make League of Legends, were working on a massive MMO set in the universe, which I will compliment them on this one thing, one time only. The world building is actually pretty cool, so I was kind of interested, right? Like a year or two after the announcement, Riot Tryndamere, the CPO, tweeted out, "After a lot of reflection and discussion, we've decided to reset the direction of the project some time ago." So basically what he's saying is, hey, the game that we were working on was kind of ass, like the original Shrek movie. We're gonna scrap it and remake the new one. Now, unlike Shrek, we don't have the new version. It's still currently in development, so we don't technically have either version of it. But when the new actualized version comes out, should we consider the scrapped old MMO lost media because you can't technically play it right now? I really don't think so. I don't think that fits the true meaning of lost media. I feel like ultimately for something to be lost media, it had to have been obtainable media at some point or another. To get my point across in a cooler, like existential way or whatever, can something truly be lost if you never had it in the first place? That was sick, dude. that was tough. That was put me up there with Play-Doh. Which is mainly my complaint with the original Shrek movie one. Like, sure, we have that little 30-second snippet, but this version was never actually released to the public or had any sort of actual commercial attempts by the producers. So is it lost media if it was never even made or completed? Like, if just the concept of something turns it into lost media, I feel like that's a really weird territory to get into for it. And honestly, the more I look at this iceberg, the weirder it gets. Like the Dexter's Band episode, sure, it was hard to find at some point, but there are full uploads of it on YouTube, meaning it's by definition not lost media anymore. Like, I mean, does lost media just mean the people who originally made it aren't rerunning it anymore? I mean, is Cars lost media? Is Planes? Actually, Planes might be. That movie was really weird. If you go further down, they have Squidward Red Mist episode, which I brought up in a previous video, is a creepypasta. This is not lost media. This is a picture someone edited and posted on a 4chan and then went like, guys, I heard there was a creepy SpongeBob episode with the wet-eyed Squidward that got banned. Like, it wasn't banned because it never existed. Does the concept of it possibly existing make it lost media? Like, if I start dreaming about an episode of Phineas and Ferb, does that make it lost media because it doesn't exist? Like, I feel like we're losing the plot here. One of my favorite examples of this lost media craze is this song from the 80s. You've probably heard it before. It was trending on TikTok really hard. People were going crazy with it, making all sorts of posts like, imagine getting wetty in the 80s and listening to this song without knowing it'll be lost media someday. Which I get the sentiment, you know, it's fun to go on like a big search for something that's really obscure on the internet, but we have the song. We just don't have the credited artist. Take, for example, Beach Leak by Netspend. Let's say the song gets a snippet uploaded to TikTok, but doesn't have the name of the song or the artist on it. Is that considered lost media? Or would that just be an uncredited song? Or is that just a random TikTok audio? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the term lost media has kind of lost all of its actual meaning. Did you see what I did there? Oh, also this song apparently originated from an 80s porno.
But after years of searching, the truth was finally revealed. The song, titled Ulterior Motives, was discovered in the most unlikely of places. 1986 adult film called Angels of Passion.
Which is really funny, and honestly, I feel like of everything that I bring up here, this one is the closest to actual lost media, but I still don't think I would consider it. The reason I bring this up is I think real, true lost media is so interesting. Like, there's some crazy stuff that is completely lost to time. Like, you will literally never see it again. And it's usually stuff like TV show pilots or failed commercials that have just been completely deleted off of everything. But sometimes there's some really wacky stuff that people search for that they'll probably never get. Like, apparently people are still searching for Osama bin Laden's Animal Crossing save file because apparently that's a real thing. Now, this one is a little different. I do think it is lost media, but only to the public, if that makes sense. Like, it is almost 100% locked in a government data center somewhere, but you or I couldn't access it unless we get high up at the NSA. And I feel like this is just kind of an interesting topic to go into, because is that considered lost media, or is that just a privatized government document, you know? Like, would you consider the Epstein files lost media? Well, no. Would you consider like a confidential FBI document lost media just because a random Redditor can't access it? Personally, I still think to truly be considered lost media, there has to be nothing that is actively accessible by somebody, right? And sure, there's some technicalities on that, like if Meemaw has the last Beavis and Butthead Do Hollywood game in her attic, I would still consider that fully lost because nobody's ever finding that, nobody's ever gonna play that in her attic, right? But something like the Shrek one that's so easily found and was never even given out to the public, it doesn't sit right with me. It feels like it dampens the term of lost media, you know what I mean? The most common example of actual lost media would be the 1927 film London After Midnight, which I think is the truest example of lost media. The original prints were completely destroyed in a fire, right? Like all gone, like the Library of Alexandria, just poof, they're gone, right? But the reason this is such a good example is, I mean, unless somehow somebody stumbles upon 5,000 copies in a basement, that is truly lost media. No one at this point in time can watch this movie anywhere because they're all gone. We know it exists because we have like the pamphlet and we know the screenwriters and people that made it, but we don't have access to the media. Another important thing that I want to bring up is even if something was lost for a bit, then found, was it truly ever lost media? Or was it just that no one gave a shit about the McDonald's training game and nobody was actively looking for it until some random Redditor mentioned it on r/McDonald's? Let me give a better example. Is my DVD copy of Bionicle 3 lost because it's sitting on my shelf somewhere collecting dust, or is it just that no one cares about finding it at this time? I feel like that's really where it starts to get muddy and it starts to really be a case-by-case basis of what we consider lost media. But I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting. This video is a little different from what I usually do, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it after seeing so many lost media trends that just end up being some mediocre song that nobody remembered. I don't know, it's just always kind of rubbed me the wrong way that TikTok and YouTube, really all media in general, love to sensationalize everything. Like you could upload that Fushigi commercial from 2012, but if you title it "Anyone Remember This Lost Media Fushigi Commercial?" it'll get pushed like crazy because it adds mystery and people will be like, oh my god, I remember that. Wow, that's such a lost media, that's lost to time. This isn't meant to be a slam attack on people that make lost media content or anything like that. I just found it kind of like an interesting topic to talk about, to really determine what is lost media and what is just some obscure Beavis and Butthead game that no one wanted. But with that being said, my name is Prisk. That's Reggie. Reggie? No. Oh my god. He's been lost. No!